Hi, everyone. How are you? We can be thankful this year. At least Megalodon didn't start the year off making a video of her running across the beach and writing with her big witch hands, 2016, and then doing her giggling for the camera. So at least we were spared that. But of course, as you know, this came out. This is on the Oprah Winfrey website, the Satanist herself. And yeah, they're as annoying as usual, and they're so filtered. I mean, they're mega filtered here. Complete contrast to Meghan posing for pictures with no makeup on, looking haggard. So now they're trying to portray themselves as young parents, right? 20-year-olds or something, that are both being middle aged. And Harry, obviously, they filtered on some hair on his head. Look how blurry it is. You could tell it's not his real hair. I mean, look at that. They actually blurred on hair onto him. This is so bad, the filtering on this. Oh my goodness. All the lines in Megan's face, you can't see them. So tacky. Anyways, besides the bad filter, you see, uh, everybody's talking about how annoyed Harry looks at Megan, whatever. I don't know if this is, if he's doing it on purpose to be acting or whatnot. Sometimes I think they do it on purpose. Like in one way, she'll look exasperated with him, and in another interview, he'll be exasperated with her. And it could be part of their skit to keep people talking. I'm just saying. But notice they both use the word collective. That seems to be the key word for this interview. Collective, and that's used all the time. I watch Carolyn Borisenko, watching the far left communists and whatnot, and they always use the word collectivism. So, just be aware they both use this word. They want to get that out there, collective, and, denoting collectivism. And of course, collectivism, official definition according to Webster's, the political or economic theory advocating collective control, especially over production and distribution, but also over society. And so, whether they mean communism or globalist technocracy, you have to ask them. But whatever it is, it's certainly not freedom and freedom of speech and everything else. They are all for bringing globalist tyranny, in my opinion. Anyways, I just want to play the clip just so in case you haven't seen it. Here we go.
They are my favorite Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They are my favorites who have worked extensively over the years on mental health, specifically around online dangers and their vulnerability, both adults and.
By the way, Gail sounds her mannerisms and the things she says, she is exactly copying Oprah with everything. She's become Oprah 2.0.
Children can feel in the digital space. So several years ago, they created the Parents Network. These two are always doing things to help others. It's a global network of families that have lost children who engaged in online content.
Yeah, and I point out they brag about starting the Parents Network. I have to mention that. But of course, all that is another PR platform for Harry and Meghan to use grieving parents to promote themselves, just the way Harry and Meghan use Invictus and disabled people to promote themselves.
Their mission is this: to find solutions to keep all the children safe, including yours. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate you taking the time, because I'm thinking we're all trying to figure this out and it seems so hard. Meghan and Harry, welcome to you all.
Right.
Yes, keep the children safe. Keep passing those child safety acts to censor everybody. Yes. And for digital IDs online. So it's easier to bring in those digital currencies and have that Chinese Communist Party system in place. Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Hi, nice to see
Hi,
you.
hi.
Bill.
Nice
Hi,
to
Beth.
see
Nice to
you.
meet you, Jonathan. Good to see you again.
Buddy.
See you again. Nice to meet you.
Oh, and Megan's wearing that nail necklace that she owns. Does she not own any other necklaces? But notice this too. Gail says to Megan, "Do you have any questions?" And instead of asking a question, Megan rants and raves on. So here she goes. Megan's going to go off in one of her nonstop blather sessions.
Very, very nice to see you all.
Thank you for having. I mean, it's such an incredible way to start the year too, because I think so many people are thinking about what their priorities are for the year, especially as we think about our children or your grandchildren,
Yes.
Gail, as you said.
Yes.
and to just really reframe it, and also how that fits into our collective mental well-being. So we definitely have questions, and Jonathan, you're always a wealth of knowledge, so we're thrilled to be able to be here.
Harry, you want to go first?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. Jonathan, first off, look, we saw you last on World Mental Health Day, and over the years we've worked with you on how the digital space is deeply affecting our collective and mental, emotional, and physical health.
Our collective emotional and physical well health.
And obviously, a huge congratulations to you and the outcome of your research, which has created a parent-led movement, which is astonishing and much needed.
And that we're proud to be a part of.
Yeah, hugely.
Yes.
And your insights have been incredibly valuable over the years for our work with parents who have lost their children to online harms,
Yes.
and working towards solutions to keep all children safe. So I guess my question is, can you speak to how the phone-based childhood, as you call it, affects kids' emotional development and what families can do to support healthier patterns?
Yeah, sure. So let's break it down between the indirect harms of just living your life pushed down and pushed out by these screen activities.
Skip over his blathering answers of his so-called research. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really interested. I think this whole thing is just to push child safety BS. So they're coming up with books now of trying to, push that idea out more and more.
They literally give their engineers rewards if they can find a way to increase that. And they know from internal conversations, they know that this is hurting kids, but they won't stop. So yeah, these companies have earned our ire, and I would even say our disgust.
Yeah, and attacking the tech companies. They're always attacking the social media companies. This is the common theme. It's all of the big bad social media companies. They're so evil. It's like, oh, they just have to censor everybody again. They still are doing it anyways.
Well, Meghan and Harry, I know how engaged you are as parents. I'm curious, Meghan, what questions you have.
Oh, of course. Well, actually, what you were just saying triggered when we were doing work on this almost 5.
So here, she's being said, do you have any questions? And she starts ranting and raving.
5 years ago at Stanford. Do you remember what they said about in the online space? It's one of the only.
What is that by her ear? I'm like looking, is that AI? Like, what is this? She's got like a hair sticking out from under her ear. What is that? What is going on? I mean, this is the filter they're using. I'm like confused. How the hell does she have a hair? I'm gonna rewind this. Let's see this. I gotta watch this again. I'll mute her voice because she's just blathering her nonsense. There's something really odd. You know how I am with videos. Look at this. How does she have a hair sticking out there? This is very bizarre. This whole video. There's something really funky about this video. It's like I'm getting AI vibes or something here. And look at her fingers. She's got those man hands. Oh my gosh. Look at that. My goodness. But there's something with this video. Something's going on here. I don't know what it is, but there's something really wrong with this video. I mean, it's over filtered. There might be AI again. Maybe they've gotten really good AI here, but there's still blips. I don't know.
Helpful for people to hear, even if they've heard it from you once before, to hear again the data and the metrics that you have on how the screen time is entirely correlated to rising anxiety, loneliness, depression, specifically in kids. It's so compelling. So if you're able to share some of that, I would love to hear it again too. Young people, and also the rippling triggered when we were doing work on this almost 5 years ago at Stanford. Do you remember what they said about in the online space? It's one of the only other places where you call the customer a user. And what did they say? The only other place.
Well, yeah, she does that stupid user line again that she used with Girls Up like back in 2020, 6 years ago. She stole that from somebody else. She's still blathering on about that. See, this is all just PR propaganda of the globalists. They're just pushing child safety and hating on the social media companies. And that's not Meghan's forehead. I'm sorry. There's something going on with this whole video.
The place that you hear that is with addiction and
drug dealers.
Drug dealers. They're users. They're creating this habit. So everything you're saying, I think, of course, rings true. We know in the work that we've done the tolls that digital pressures can take on young people and also the ripple effect that has on families, parents, entire communities. But we touched on this in the fall, Jonathan. I think it'd be really helpful for people to hear, even if they've heard it from you once before, to hear again the data and the metrics that you have on how the screen time is entirely correlated to rising anxiety, loneliness, depression, specifically in kids. It's so compelling. So if you're able to share some of that, I would love to hear it again too.
Okay. It's all stored up here.
Thanks. So
loneliness, depression, specifically in kids. It's so compelling. So if you're able to share some of that, I would love to hear it again too.
Okay. It's all stored up here.
Thanks. So I'll keep it brief, but
Okay, I've been sitting here talking. You haven't heard me. I'm looking at the sleeves. I think this is AI. I know I say that with a lot of videos, but besides the hair under her ear, if you look at the fabric between them, like two people wearing long sleeves and they brush against each other, you should see the fabric move, like push in. There should be like some brushing against each other, and you say, "Oh, excuse me a second," or you move over a little. And what happens is the sleeve of Megan's arm here, she's wearing a bulky sweater, and it just sort of disappears and appears again. Like it doesn't like brush past. You don't see the fabric get pushed back or pushed forward in a natural way. So I'm gonna bring this up again. Maybe I'll just slow this down. Oh no, yeah. Wow, I'm even wondering if they're dead and they're just showing us AI videos all the time. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't think I can slow this down. Oh crap! I don't have this Oprah video. Wow. All right, so we can slow it down later. I'm right. Here we go. Let's just play this.
Anxiety, loneliness, depression, specifically in kids. It's so compelling. So if you're able to share some of that, I would love to hear it again too.
Okay.
It's all
So look when
stored
she
up
sits
here.
back. See that? See how her
Thanks.
sleeve just
So
like.
I'll keep it brief, but first we have the fact that mental health.
Okay, it could be just me, but I think that the way her sleeve just
From you
reappeared
once before to
just looks really bizarre. There's no friction between the fabrics there. It's just sort of, yeah, I don't know. I think there's something weird, funky going on there with this video. Really funky. AI funky. That and also the hair that was under her ear. I mean, what the hell was that? I mean, yeah, there's something really going on with this video. Oprah's got some splaining to do. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go again. Let's go back to this again. Oh, did we just watch that part? Blah 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 blah. That's my. I'm translating the video for you what they're really saying, and he's saying blah 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 blah. We want Childhood Safety Act. We want to censor everybody. We want to bring in tyranny, make everybody think it's a good thing for their kids. We're all in the club with you and Oprah. Look at where their Oprah sign in the background. All right, let's go. I think here we go.
Ow.
Yeah, that worked as
Oh, I see the dog behind. I see.
She's
Yeah,
literally she's been sitting next to us, just chewing a stick.
he's playing. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
He's your best playing.
That's
That's
a
big one for. What concerns you most, guys, as we sit here today before we let you go? If you have any more questions for them, what
Yeah.
concerns you most?
Thank you, Gail. I mean, I think part of it, less about concerns, because what I love about what this book does is it's about really the solutions.
Yes,
and Jonathan, you had
Good
spoken
point.
about that, and it stuck with me because even when we were on Mental Health Day in October, you were saying you cannot replace the feeling of a deep guttural belly laugh. An
Mm.
emoji of
Yeah.
laughter is not the
Yeah.
same physiological response that we need, that our kids need. And what I love is that the more that we encourage our children to do this, we mimic those same behaviors. We also start to play, and we also start to be more present. And so I think as we look to New Year's resolutions, which we're all making, and I know for a lot of people, it's probably less laughter emojis and more real laughter, and also less screen time. I guess, for both of you and for Catherine, are there any adjustments and tweaks that are tangible that people could start to implement today for their families, especially as we've come back from holidays? That reintegration after 3 weeks off school can be really tricky for parents. And I know
Because we all know as parents and as working parents, we want to create good habits that are lasting for our children. But we also, we've got to be realistic about what we can do consistently. So I guess, can you
Good question. Very good question.
Yeah, can you share some ideas with
Catherine,
everybody who's on this call, who's listening, on any small changes that can have a big impact?
Yeah. So I also wrote a whole book about fun, which is
Another thing I'm noticing that makes me think that Harry, I think what's happening is potentially not that Harry and Meghan are AI, but they're not in the same room. They're like video conferencing from different places, because if you look, we were looking at Meghan's hand earlier. Oh, too far back. So Meghan put up her hand in front of the camera, and it was her regular man hands, but it wasn't unusually large for her. So that she was, where is it? She was blabbing first, where he started. Okay, look at the size of Meghan's hands. Now compare that to Harry's hands at the end. If you're closer to the camera, you see the size of her hands, and then when Harry starts using his hands, he's sitting closer to his camera wherever he is. I don't think they're in the same room. Because the sleeves between them look too bizarre. They don't seem to be really sitting next to each other, bumping into each other. There's like this funky moving around between the sleeves, like the shadow and everything. Just looks unnatural to me. Now look at Harry's hands. Look how large his hands. So they both had their hand up in that one skit, that one scene for a brief moment. See that? And they're supposed to both be the same distance from the camera, right? So it's about, if they're both the same same distance from the same camera, their hands should be about the same size, like not that big of a difference in size. But I think what's happening is possibly Meghan is in one place with a camera about 15 feet away, and Harry's sitting in it somewhere else, and his camera is only 6 feet away or something. And that's why when he puts his hand up, it looks so much closer and bigger, because they're supposed to be sitting right next to each other. How can it be that her hand doesn't look that large while his looks huge? I mean, look how huge his hands look in comparison to hers. Hers look like she's further away, distant. I'm thinking, or else this whole thing is AI, and the AI is getting the hand size wrong. Look at the difference in size of the hands. It doesn't make any sense. Something's going on here. They're playing games with the AI again, I think.
Ideas with everybody who's on this call, who's listening, on any small changes that can have a big impact.
Yeah. So I also wrote a whole book about fun, which is one of the reasons we first connected. So
so that hair under the ear is very suspect. They're obviously, the very least, heavily filtered. But
hard. Meghan and Harry.
This whole thing looks so fake. Watch the sleeves. And Megan's arm is just going through him. She's not brushing up against him. And there's the hair. There's the hair under the ear. Very weird. This is stop telling me. Well, anyways, I'll leave it there with her and the hair under her ear. Something really wrong with this video. Thumbs up as always with them. Nothing is ever as it seems. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.